the starting order for DD2 and DD2 Masters, heat number 2, which is groups B and C. On the front row of the grid, it's Zenderu and Zander Schiblak, Matthias Lund and Dionysis Liveris on row 2, Max Fleischmann and Rupe Markkanen, row 3, then it's Daniel Machacek, then it's Lasse Andreasen on row 4, Gilles Puellings and Piotr Wisnicki on row 5, William van der Kaj and Chris Zieders on row 6, Marcel Steinert, Christoph Adams, Jan Schlosser, Euripides Hatzistefanis, Imre Birisdor, trying to get these names out correctly, sorry if I'm making a hash of them, Manuel Teschert, Michael Becker, and 20th and last is Russia's Maxim Shapashinkov. So top 10, it's Deru, Schiblak, Lund, Liveris, Fleischmann, Markkanen, Machacek, Andreasen, Wellings and Wisnicki. Temperature has now hit 24 degrees Celsius here in on a very sunny Saturday afternoon. The wind has slightly increased to around 10 kph. Humidity has further dropped to around 44 degrees. So I'm sure that everyone is enjoying the weather. Yeah, it's been very nice for this time of year in April. So when I was venturing over here yesterday afternoon from the UK, it was around 28 to 29 degrees Celsius when I hit Dover, before the sun decided to set halfway across my journey. But that was it's really nice to actually be over here in Europe and having great sunshine to accompany the fantastic and full throttle action we've had, and which we will come to expect, believe you me, over the course of the season here in the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Championship. Drivers are now slowing to a crawl, 20 set to get underway. So drivers will need to bunch up if race direction are not happy with the formation. They will send them for another formation lap. So Starui and Schiblak on the front row. Everyone's trying to line up quickly enough so we can get going, and we do. And it looks like Schiblak was caught napping there, and he gets swallowed up by the field somewhat. And it's 4 abreast going into turn 1. Is that going to stick? Yes, that's impressive. Impressive kart control, going 4 wide, coming out of turn number 1. Meanwhile, I think it's Daru that is now starting to pull away slightly to the tune of about 2 or 3 kart lengths as they go down towards turn 6 for the first time of asking. So, drivers now coming through turn number 8. Daru is now in the lead and has got a comfortable one for the moment, as we've got a nice move up the inside into turn number 9, and that was the 436. That was Liveris making a clean overtake into turn number 9. So it goes to show that all categories can do a pretty easy slipstrop overtake into turn number 9 here, as long as the other driver gives them enough room. As Max Fleischmann has now jumped from 5th to 2nd position on the road. And we saw that this feisty German was definitely very much attracting the steward's attention for whatever reason, I don't know. But he's now in 2nd place in this second DD2 and DD2 Masters qualifying heat. We still have 1 more heat to go in each respective category, including these guys. But at the last time around, it was just over 4.5 tenths of a second as the leaders come through. Schiblak is chasing hard, as is Liveris. So Dionysis Liveris is really one quick Greek, and I tell you what, he's keeping with the 3 in front very handsomely there. Top 4 separated by just over 6.5 tenths of a second, as it is getting really, really exciting down the back part of the field. And I think Wisnicki's in that mix as well. So Wisnicki's also I think getting a bit hot under the collar, I think, with just the competition that's with them. And that's a very twitchy moment by one of the carts to the back part of the field. Could have either been Becker, Zaidas or Shapashinkov that may have had a twitchy moment coming out of turn number 5. And I tell you what, that's not the place you want that to have happen to you. As it looks like Livridis has gone up the inside of Shiblak for 3rd place. Going out of turn 9. Mahacek, Markkanen, Puellings, Andreasen and Lund are in close pursuit. Vishnicki's in there as well. And this is getting ever closer. Shiblak now into 2nd, ahead of Livridis. So it is Zenderu leading the way with Zander Shiblak in 2nd. Dionysius Livridis in 3rd place. Max Fleischmann now drops into 4th position. As we have got so many changes, I think that's at least 2 drivers have made up at least 1 spot. And that was very tight going through turn number 6. That is from 4th to 10th place. So I'll just try and catch the order of them as they come around turn number 10. Heading into the final complex here at Genk. So it's Derui from Shiblak from Livridis. Then it's Markkanen. Markkanen now up into 4th place, it looks like. That is. And Fleischmann now in 5th. Mahacek now in 6th position. Puellings now up into 7th. And Matthias Lund now up into 8th place as Andreasen now drops to 9th. With Vishnicki rounding out the top 10. So it looks like the top 3 are starting to break away. Especially Deru now as well. And it looks like there's being a move. Looks like Markkanen's losing out to Fleischmann into turn 6. That he does. So Fleischmann now goes back up into 4th position. But behind them is Mahacek. So that's 4th to 6th. Then you got 7th to 11th position. That's Puellings, Lund, Andreasen, Vishnicki and Steinert. Whereas Deru is now making a getaway. Now this lead looks to have been, might have kept the same maybe. Yes, it's extended to just under 9/10 of a second as Shiblak gets a little bump from behind slightly by Dionysius Livridis. But it's the slightest of nudges that actually allows Shiblak to get forward rather than help Livridis get past. And I have to say, nice moving by Max Fleischmann getting into 4th place. I'm wondering how Markkanen is doing in comparison. Has been dropped and has got Mahacek behind for position. And that's very close between Puellings and Lund for position. That's for 7th and 8th going out of turn number 8. Meanwhile, the leaders are still trying to streak away from them. So you've got Vishnicki in that mix. You've also got at the end of it Steinert. So the gap between Zenderu and Zander Shiblak is now over a second with 4 1/4 minutes plus an additional lap on the clock. More changes happening down the back part of the field. Looks like Tenchert made a move there as well. Probably past the treble 5 of Adams, which would be 13th place on the road as Vishnicki gets past Andreasen for 9th place. So leader now starting to pull that gap, and Deru is trying not to look back as much as possible. Meanwhile, the battle for 2nd between Dionysius Livridis in 3rd place and Zander Shiblak in 2nd is being very hotly contested. I think Max Fleischmann will want to have a word or two in that argument because he's actually quicker than the pair of them in 4th place. Markkanen does his best of the race. Mahacek now also does his personal best, as does Lund. Deruit now does his personal best of the race. The fastest driver in this race so far with a 54.655 is Max Fleischmann, currently sitting in 4th position. More changes up and down the order. Lund now into 7th. Puellings now down to 8th. Andreasen gets past Vishnicki as we see another great move there into turn number 6. And I think that might have been Puellings on Lund there for position. Just keep an eye out as they now start to come through into turn 9, round into turn number 10. Top 5 as they were. Then it's Markkanen, Mahacek. So it looks like it was Andreasen that made a couple of moves as well there, to be fair. So it's Deru from Shiblak. So Hatzi Stefanis has dropped. Hatzi Stefanis has dropped down the order significantly there. So Hatzi Stefanis was running in the top 10, lower part of the top 10, and has now dropped all the way down to 19th ahead of Maxim Shaposhinkov. So leaders now coming through into the final sector of the track. Deru is still leading by about 1.5 seconds. I think that gap might have been extended as they come around the final couple of corners. And the trio battling over second, third and fourth. That's Shiblak. Well, it's Liveris has now taken second. The Greek is now in the runner-up spot in this race, having got past Shiblak. But Fleischmann is with them and goes up the inside of Shiblak into third round turn 3. Just knew when to pick the spot, did the German, and just made it count. Now he's going to go up against Dionysius Liveris as well. This is for second, and he goes up the inside into turn number 6. Brilliant moving by the German. Within 3 corners, he's gone from 4th to 2nd place, and that's impressive, impeccable timing as well. We're 1 minute and 5 seconds plus an additional lap to go in this race, and he has struck whilst the iron is hot. Meanwhile, Liveris, I think, I'm wondering, has he now gone down the order? Well, Liveris is now in third, it looks like. So Fleischmann in second, and it looks like Shiblak is wanting to get back on terms level pegging with the Greek driver. And this has just allowed Zenderu to actually just pull away comfortably. Meanwhile, this battle for... now, this is a really entertaining battle for third place between Dionysius Liveris, Zander Shiblak, and also... Mahacek in 6th position. And the distance between Deru and Fleischmann last time around was 2.47 seconds. As there's another dive up the inside. And that looks to be Markkanen. Now gets past Shiblak, and that's for 4. I tell you what, that turn number 9 is a really sweet overtaking spot. Final lap now on the board. And it was 2.4 seconds ahead of Fleischmann. Dionysius Liveris in third place, a further 0.8 behind as well. Markkanen with that impressive move on Mahacek for 4th place. Well, Shiblak has now dropped down into 6th position as the leaders are now coming through into, well, looks like we've got Deru now leading into turn number 8 for the final time, and has just been able to pull away whilst everything behind just went asunder and you couldn't tell which driver was going to end up where. But it's now a couple of corners as Zenderu now comes round the final corner. Checkered flag will be waved for Zenderu in the 435 to take the DD2 and DD2 Masters heat win. This is an urgent message, paddock announcement. Tom Darcy, 260. You need to get to the stewards immediately. This is your final call. Tom Darcy, 260. Can you make your way to the stewards immediately? So, apart from that paddock call there. So, well done to Zenderu, who finished quite comfortably ahead of the field. So, let's run through the finishing order for the DD2 and DD2 Masters here at Genk. It's Zenderu who finished ahead of Max Fleischmann, who did great jobs of overtaking not just Shiblak but also Liveris, and went from 4th to 2nd in 3 corners from turn 3 to turn number 6. Dionysius Liveris rounds out the top 3. The Greek was ahead of Markkanen, with Shiblak ending up 5th ahead of Matthias Lund. Andresen 7th ahead of Vishnicki. Wellings, Adams, Steinert, Schlosser, Tenschert, Brisdo, Ziders, Becker, Van der Kaj, Mahacek, who actually dropped way down the order. Hatsi